What's good, my people? Welcome into Buckets, Action Network's NBA betting podcast, daily presented by FanDuel. I am Sean Little. Matt Moore is out today. He's on assignment for the Denver Nuggets. And of course, it's Wednesday edition. So I'm with my guy, Jay Money. You could follow him everywhere at Jay Money is Money, Action Network app, Twitter, YouTube. You already know the vibes. Jay, what's going on, baby?
Yeah, doing all right, man. Trying to get some cash here. I saw that Matt posted a play. To be honest, I didn't think that he was gonna like my play for today, but I saw him posting the Action Network. It's actually the same play, so we're on the same wave here. Let's talk some cash here, man.
Yeah, even if we're not on the pod, we're still on the same wavelength. You already know how that goes. All right, let's jump right into it. A bunch of games to pick from the Wednesday NBA slate. Jay, give me your best bet. I'll give mine, and we'll break it down.
Yeah, best bet, man. I'm hopping on two of them. I'm on Cavs first half in full game. I think they start early and often in this one. I'm liking the Cavs with some double revenge here.
Boston Celtics at home, team total over 120 and a half. It's that number 120 and a half may be a little juiced up. I'm looking at minus 115 at the moment. Wait on a different number. I do like this to 121 and a half at the very least, but we'll see where it goes. Team total right now, Boston Celtics over 120 and a half. All right, Jay, talk to me about the Cavs at home against the Bucks. Why do you like them?
Yeah, man, give me the Cavs here early and often this. So I got some notes on this one. They have lost two straight to the Bucks so far this season. Obviously, this is interdivisional rivals as well in this one. But you got the Cavs here, 4-2 against the spread last six meetings, right? 15-2 straight up at the house. This is a double revenge spot. Lost twice already versus Milwaukee this season, guys. They led by 11 at halftime on the road. Now at the house, I believe they lead once again, and I think they win this game. Like I said, they're 12-4-1 against the spread at the house. The home team is 9-1 straight up in these past 10 meetings. Bucks struggling on the road, only 1-3-1 against the spread last five road games, and also only 3-8-2 against the spread last 13 following a straight up win. So give me the Cavs here early and often, my guy.
I like it. You're not worried about the Bucks at all coming into Cleveland.
Am I worried about the Bucks? The Bucks are a great team. They are, but I do believe that the Cavs can hang with them. Like I just said, they did hang with them in the first half of the last game, even on the road. What happened was in the second half, Bucks tightened up their defense, and the Cavs couldn't handle it. I think they know that now. They've been at the house for a while as well, getting comfortable. And like I said, we just saw the Bucks really struggle. I know that they won versus the Pelicans on the road in the last game, but in my opinion, they're dropping this one, and they have the Nets on deck as well. Obviously, I'm worried about the Bucks. They're a great team, but I don't think they get it done here. Give me the Cavs in this one, first half, full game.
Yeah, the Cavs got a couple, or the Bucks, excuse me, got a tough stretch coming up here. Like Jay just laid out, they have the Cavs, and then they have to go to Brooklyn and play the Nets, who have been playing really good basketball as well. All right, let's talk about the Boston Celtics. Team total over 120 and a half. I'm looking at minus 115. Stay tuned on that number, but I do like it even at 121 and a half. This is a spot of all spots right here for the Boston Celtics. They've lost 4 or 5, lost 2 in a row to the Orlando Magic. Everyone's talking about how we always knew this lull was coming. They were playing over their head. The offense, it can't be that good. All of a sudden, the Celtics have lost 4 or 5. They can't cover in any way, shape, or form in their last few. Tatum missed the last game with for personal reasons, but he's now back in the fold. I am focusing completely on the Indiana. Well, I don't know. I did that the other day too. Not the Indianapolis Pacers, the Indiana Pacers here. Let's talk about it. They give up 117.4 points per game on the road. That's 22nd worst in the NBA. 21st in defensive rating at 113 points per 100 possessions. Pacers, 27th in rebounding. They're not grabbing boards. Guess what? That means they're giving up second chance points. 20th in the NBA in opponent second chance points allowed. Pacers 23rd and on 3-point percentage allowed on the road at 37.2%. The Pacers are third in pace. We know how Halliburton likes to get up and down and run the show, especially when they get rolling on the offensive end. 104.4 possessions per 100. Now, that is a big deal because okay, I see the Pacers getting up and down and doing their thing. They like to push the pace. Well, that means they should be super efficient on offense, right? That's not the case. 23rd in offensive efficiency because they turn the ball over at a ridiculous clip, 15.8 turnovers a game. Now, Boston is not the fastest team. They're not necessarily pushing the pace like the Pacers or Memphis or some of these other guys that like to get up and down. But Halliburton's going to make them push the pace. Right now, Boston's 18th in pace. With Halliburton out there running the show, they're going to have to pick it up some way, somehow. And I think that of course means more possessions and more buckets available for the Boston Celtics. We know how efficient the Celtics can be on offense. I think this is a great spot for them to show and get back to that midseason. I guess we could say not even midseason, 6-7 games form ago on the offensive end. They've lost 4 or 5. This is a great get right spot. No Tatum, who in the last game, he's now back in the fold. Marcus Smart, questionable. That even takes a little more pressure off of a defensive stopper. Some might say he's not a stopper, but he's still a defensive focused guy. And if he's not on the floor, that's even more free court and open court for Halliburton and the guys to run around. When the Pacers, you know this, Jay, when they are competing and winning games, they are flat out just trying to outscore you. Good luck doing that against the Celtics in Boston. And if they do that, the Celtics are going to keep up, and this is how you cash the Celtics team total over 120.5. I really like this spot for the Celtics. Lost 4 or 5, have been at home for going on a week now. We talk about that all the time on this podcast. Jay just mentioned it about the Cavs. They've been home for a while now. All the nonsense and all the distractions have been taken care of. They are now in a spot where they're really looking to get a win here. The total sits at 231. And some spots I'm seeing the line at 9.5. I've seen it as high as Boston minus 10.5. I think, to shout out my guy Jay Money, they take these boys to Smack City, and at the very least, hang up 121, 122 at home on these boys. I think this is a 125 plus at home get right offensive explosion for the Boston Celtics. Give me over 120.5, 121.5. I'm gonna lock it in right as we record this podcast Tuesday night. I'm gonna lock it in right now at 120.5. You try and get the best number you can as soon as you hear this. How you feel about that?
I couldn't talk you off. Celtics looking for a little bounce back J spot, as I like to call it. Third straight home game as well. Coming off a couple of losses, a couple of days off as well. I'm sure they're steaming, ready to get ready to smack somebody up. And the Pacers just happen to be that team. They're not playing great defense. They're not a great defensive team in general, and they like to run fast pace as well. So definitely could see the Celtics getting back on track here.
It's just one of those spots too where I couldn't lay the 9.5 because they have been playing poorly. And also the Pacers are coming off of 4 out of 5 they've lost, I believe. They haven't been playing that really. They've been dropping games. So that's a perfect spot, in my opinion, to take the team total. You don't have to worry about Boston covering a big number. You don't have to worry about them winning by. Because when I see AJ, I don't know about you, but when I see a number like 10.5, you're telling me they're going to be up 15, 16 the majority of that game.
Exactly.
So you don't have to worry about them getting out in front like that. You just got to worry about them putting the ball in the basket at home and playing efficient offense like they've been playing a vast majority of the season. They still, even with the last week playing poorly, they're still averaging almost 118, almost 119 points per game, the Boston Celtics. So they get home, they get it done. Against a team that wants to outscore you, go ahead and try to outscore the Boston Celtics at home. I can guarantee you they'll go over that 120.5 number. So that's what I'm locking in. Anything else on the slate? It's a big slate. Interesting slate. We had the duplex spot, as Matt Moore calls it. OKC Thunder are playing Portland again. We have Minnesota, Dallas, which is an interesting spot. Minnesota just put 150 up on the Bulls. Anything else when you were going through the slate that you were looking at, just couldn't get to the window for the pod?
There's nothing else that I was looking at, to be honest with you. I know lately what I've been doing, kind of honing in on one game, my favorite game. I might have 3 plays in that game, but I try to hone in on one game, getting one game right. I think that's where a lot of parlay bettors go wrong at. You're trying to get too many games right? So I try to hone in on one game, my absolute best bet. I could give out 3, 4, 5 plays, but they wouldn't be my strongest. So I like to go with my absolute top, the best of the best, and I like to give people what I absolutely love as well. I always try to tell people bet bet whatever you absolutely love. And that's what I've been doing lately. Obviously, professional sports better. I'm not trying to just bet leans and stuff like that. So Cavs first half for me is a really strong look. Couldn't talk you out of the Nets, but obviously that's something that you're probably going to have to play sooner than later. I mean, that line might end up being -10 or something. So the situation was set up for the Nets, but a lot of these things, like things that I like to look at, definitely are baked into the line these days. So only one game that I really like for tomorrow: Cavs first half full game. I'm trying to cash it.
I get it. I agree with you 100%. When you start playing 4, 5, 6 games a night on the nightly, 40, 45 plays a week, it's going to be tough to make a lot of money. That's just from experience and doing this for a long time. Even if it's NBA, if it's baseball, if it's if it's football, play your best play. It doesn't work out, you move on to the next day and do the exact same thing. Stop trying
Done.
to knock them over the head with 8, 9 plays in a single card. It's too tough to do on a day-to-day basis.
I got a question.
Yeah.
How long do you think the Knicks winning streak will go? I know they're up to 8 right now. They're playing some really good basketball, defensively, offensively. How long do you think they keep it going? They play the Raptors tomorrow. Obviously, the Raptors are really struggling right now. They're sitting at -1. It looks really easy to take the Knicks. Do we just take Knicks -1 and ride with the streak?
Yeah, it's an interesting spot, right? Like I was at the Garden tonight. They look really, really good. They're locked in. Um, to win 7 straight, because they've been playing a lot better on the road than they have been at home. So then to get home and then have a overall slate of the next 3 games where they're not too tough, right? We have Golden State without Steph, without the Canadian Jordan. Why am I blanking on whose name am I blanking?
Wiggins.
Wiggins. They're with
Yeah.
the Canadian Maple Jordan. They have no Steph, right? No Wiggins. Poole is coming off 2 huge games. He had 49 the other night before he played the Knicks. But to you can argue Wiggins is the second best player on that team. So then they fade those 2 guys and they end up smoking the Warriors tonight because they don't have to see their 2 best players. Then they play a Toronto team who's been struggling. Pascal's been going crazy, but other than that, that team has been struggling. And then they cap it before the holiday with the Bulls, who they've beat the last 2 times by a combined average of 15.5 points per game. So it's tough to say it's going to slow down this week because they're at home. They're playing softer squads. Like I couldn't fade, like the way the Raptors have been playing overall, I couldn't take the Raptors in that spot. And the turmoil that's going on in Chicago, I couldn't take them in that spot either. I believe the Knicks are going to be favored in the next 2 games. So if I had to look anywhere, it would be the Knicks at -1. So yeah, it's a really interesting team because this guy Jalen Brunson is the real fucking deal. Like he's proven that night in and night out. He's very efficient from the 3-point line as well. He's been playing really well, and Julius Randle's been shooting the ball really well as well. So we'll see. We'll see what they're looking
I'm
like
just
tomorrow
wondering.
on the back-to-back. But
I'm
it's
just
interesting.
wondering. They only laying 1, right? I mean, so all they have to do is to keep the for us the bidders. All we have to do is lay 1 point with them if we think we're going to keep it going. I was just wondering why you weren't on your squad. I know they've been balling, so I just feel like if you feel like they're going to keep it going, at -1 sitting right there, it probably won't be there in the morning.
Yeah, no, there's already some -1.5s in the market, no question. So they've been hot. They're on a back-to-back. That's the only thing that may slow them up a little bit. But Quentin Grimes has been playing really well. They've looked
Hmm.
really, really good the last 2 weeks, almost in full. So interesting spot. But yeah, no, I actually did look at that spot. But like you said, I think my favorite spot of the night is going to be the Celtics. I think they put up 125 plus. So
I'm
that's
with you.
what I gave out on buckets. All right, those are our best plays for the night. To recap, J Money is money. Cavs first half, Cavs -2 at home versus the Bucks. I'm going team total over 120.5 for the Boston Celtics at home, coming off couple losses. Tatum in the fold now again versus the Indiana Pacers. For J Money is money. I am Sean Little. Make sure you follow us everywhere. Twitter at J Money is money, at Chicago Flow. Same handles on the Action Network app. We'll see y'all next week. Jay, tell them what we trying to do.
We're trying to get some cash, man. Take these bookies to Smack City, my guys. Oh, you
we,
said, oh, we got to say, let's get buckets, right?
Oh yeah, no. I was gonna say let's get buckets. No, that was perfect, bro. Let's get buckets.
Okay.
Let's cash. Let's take it to Smack City. Make sure you guys try to get the best numbers, do your research, trust yourself, and we'll see you guys next week on the Buckets Pod.